Hello, everyone, and welcome to the lesson on protein synthesis. Let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to learn about RNA, which should sound familiar to you, protein synthesis, and transcription and translation. So, just a few reminders before we jump in. Please make sure to have your guided notes and fill them out during this whole lecture. And that might mean at any time during the video that you pause the video to get some time to fill in those notes, to rewind the video if you didn't quite hear something or catch something or you just need to hear it again, okay? And then bring any questions that you have to class. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so first we're going to start with a flashback. Synthesis is one of the 10 life processes that we learned about earlier in the year. And I want you to, if you're watching this with a partner, I'd like you to pause the video or just take a minute to think back to September to remember what synthesis means. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, so synthesis is that metabolic process that combines small molecules or particles to build larger molecules and particles. And synthesis happens in many conditions or processes, anywhere from photosynthesis to protein synthesis, which we're going to learn about today. So another flashback for you, DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. And DNA molecules are those double-stranded helices consisting of two biopolymers that are made of simpler units called nucleotides. And DNA's whole role, its entire purpose, is to give instructions for building proteins. So instructions from DNA are given in the form of the genetic code. That's what we call it. And the genetic code is made up of nitrogenous bases. Those would be adenine, or A for short, thymine, or T, cytosine, C, and guanine, G. Okay, and those are the nitrogenous bases of DNA. And according to base pair rules for DNA, A will always bond with T, and C will always bond with G. Okay, so protein synthesis it's the protein making process, right? And protein synthesis involves both RNA and DNA. Okay, so we're going to watch this video. Maybe.
Here is a cell, the basic unit of all living tissue. In most human cells, there is a structure called the nucleus. The nucleus contains the genome. In humans, the genome is split between 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each chromosome contains a long strand of DNA, tightly packaged around proteins called histones. Within the DNA are sections called genes. These genes contain the instructions for making proteins. When a gene is switched on, an enzyme called RNA polymerase attaches to the start of the gene. It moves along the DNA, making a strand of messenger RNA out of free bases in the nucleus. The DNA code determines the order in which the free bases are added to the messenger RNA. This process is called transcription. Before the messenger RNA can be used as a template for the production of proteins, it needs to be processed. This involves removing and adding sections of RNA. The messenger RNA then moves out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Protein factories in the cytoplasm, called ribosomes, bind to the messenger RNA. The ribosome reads the code in the messenger RNA to produce a chain made up of amino acids. There are 20 different types of amino acid. Transfer RNA molecules carry the amino acids to the ribosome. The messenger RNA is read 3 bases at a time. As each triplet is read, a transfer RNA delivers the corresponding amino acid. This is added to a growing chain of amino acids. Once the last amino acid has been added, the chain folds into a complex 3D shape to form the protein.
Okay, so I encourage you to rewind the video and watch it a few times. It's a really incredible process. So I wanted to start by showing you that video before I started talking about the steps of protein synthesis. That way you had kind of a base and an image in your mind to refer to. Okay. So what is RNA? We know what DNA is. We've learned about that. But in that video, they were talking about RNA. So RNA is a cousin. It's a chemical cousin of DNA. And it's made of nucleotides, just like DNA. But there are 3 important differences. 1, RNA has the sugar ribose instead of deoxyribose, which is in DNA. RNA is single-stranded, right? DNA is 2 strands, making that helix. And RNA is only 1. And then last, RNA contains the base uracil, or U, instead of thymine, or T, like in DNA. Okay, so it's an important distinction that we will put into practice later. So there are 3 types of RNA. So there's messenger RNA, or mRNA. And mRNA copies instructions from DNA, just like you saw in that video, in the nucleus. And then it carries those instructions outside of the nucleus to the ribosome. Okay, there's ribosomal RNA, which is rRNA, and that just makes up ribosomes. And then there's transfer RNA, or tRNA, which carries the amino acids to the ribosome and matches them to the codons on the messenger RNA. Okay, and again, if you're overwhelmed or confused by this information, I encourage you to watch the video again and then go through these slides step by step. Okay, so this really gets to the crux of protein synthesis. That protein synthesis occurs in 2 major stages. The first is transcription and the second is translation. So transcription is the first of these 2 processes, and it occurs in the nucleus of the cell. It's the process of using DNA to make mRNA. And if you think about the meaning of the word to transcribe, it means to copy. You're copying the information or the instructions that is in DNA into mRNA so that proteins can be made. Okay, so let's look at that. So in making messenger RNA, or mRNA, the first step is that DNA must be unzipped. So you've got to get those 2 double helices that look kind of like a ladder that's twisted. You have to unzip them and kind of bring them apart so you can read just one side of the DNA. Okay, so this requires breaking bonds between the bases, which allows the DNA molecule to open. The next step is that free nucleotides will fill in those gaps, creating a strand of RNA, which you can see here. So we have the double helix, right? It gets unzipped so that each side is accessible, right? And then these are nucleotides. These are free nucleotides that are in the nucleus, and they're kind of just floating around. And when the right one comes along, it gets matched to one side of the DNA, right? So remember, a nucleotide is made up of a phosphate group, a sugar, and a nucleobase, right? So here you have a phosphate group, here you have a sugar, and then here is your nucleobase, A, or adenine. So these 3 components right here is a nucleotide. So you have one nucleotide here, which again is a phosphate group, a sugar, and a nucleobase. Then you have another one right here. It's a phosphate group, sugar, nucleobase. Here's another one. Phosphate, sugar, nucleobase. And these stacked on top of each other make that double helix in DNA. Okay. So now we move on to the second part of protein synthesis, which is translation. So once the mRNA is made in the nucleus, which you can see here, right? We have DNA, A copy of the information is made in the form of mRNA. Now we're ready for the next part, which is the actual protein building. So for that, the mRNA has to leave the nucleus. Okay, so it leaves the nucleus and it enters the cell, the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, and when the mRNA reaches a ribosome, which you see right here, okay, in the cytoplasm, then the second part of that protein synthesis process can begin, which is translation. Okay, so during translation, that mRNA, which holds the instructions from DNA, is read 3 bases at a time. Okay, and this grouping of bases, this grouping of those nucleobases is called a codon. And when a codon is read, mRNA are paired with tRNA anticodons. Okay, so let me show you a picture of that. So here you have your ribosome. Here's your mRNA. And the mRNA are just those sequence of letters. If you think about it like a sentence is just a sequence of letters. But we don't read a sentence as a whole. We don't look at all of those letters that make up a sentence and read it as a sentence. We read it in words, right? And so if you think about the mRNA strand as the sentence, each 3 letters here of bases are the words, okay? And those words are called codons. So mRNA is really just made up of a series of codons, right? So here you have a codon, AUG, okay? So the ribosome is reading AUG, and it's reading that as an instruction for a part of the protein. And so here we have those transfer RNA molecules, or tRNA. They're just floating around, and they have an amino acid stuck to them. Okay, and you can see that right here, this lysine, this is an amino acid. So the tRNA is floating around, it has its amino acid, and it also has a code or a codon. But on tRNA, we call it an anticodon. So it comes through and it matches, UUU is the complementary base pair to AAA, floats on in here, attaches its amino acid, and then floats off. Okay, so the tRNA's anticodon matches up with the complementary mRNA codon, and the amino acid is deposited into a growing chain of amino acids. So the process continues until all the amino acids have been deposited and the newly formed protein is then released. Okay, so I encourage you, if you need, watch the video again. You can watch my entire video again, but we're gonna do some activities and work on some problems in class that are really gonna help you grasp these complex concepts and to really put them together. So finish your notes, make sure that you are listing any questions that you have, and I'll see you in class. Okay, have a good night.